Okay, let's talk about The Hobbit. Hello, my friends. I'm Professor Hans von Puppet, your friendly neighborhood internet professor, and I thought I'd tell you my personal review of the new film, The Hobbit, written by J.R.R.R.R. Tolkien. Well, he didn't write the movie, he wrote the book. And Peter Jackson, he's the director behind The Lord of the Rings and all that other great Middle-earth stuff. Well, long story short, it's just fine. It's huge and epic and wonderful and full of amazing things. Thing is, though, you see, The Hobbit is one book. Lord of the Rings is 3 books. They made 3 movies of the 3 Lord of the Rings books. The one Hobbit book, they're making 3 movies out of it. So this movie that's in the theaters right now is only a third of the film. And it's like 3 hours long. So, they did not leave anything out. The Hobbit was written before The Lord of the Rings, and it was kind of a children's book. It's much lighter and friendlier and more funny than Lord of the Rings in many, many ways. There's all kinds of jokes, like that Ring of Power that is like this horrible kind of world-ending evil thing in Lord of the Rings. It's just like this fun little thing that that Bilbo finds in The Hobbit, and he uses it, but it's not particularly evil. I could have done without the extra scene at the beginning with Frodo, which is like a flash forward, from which we have a flash back, which is all of The Hobbit, which seems a little gratuitous to me. The big controversy about The Hobbit is this brand new technology that Peter Jackson is kind of inventing called HFR, or High Frame Rate. Let me explain. Movies, they play at 24 frames a second, okay? Reality plays at, well, an infinite number of frames a second. It is continuous. But if you keep filming at higher frame rates and showing it at those frame rates, eventually the human eye cannot discern any higher frame rates, okay? So when you get a really high frame rate, like the 48 frames they're doing for The Hobbit, it feels kind of a little bit more like reality. That's the idea anyway. This is why a movie feels different than a play. A play is reality, happening continuously in front of you. A movie is 24 frames a second. You know, Peter Jackson did not think of this. It was 20-some years ago. John Dykstra, who's a big shot, smart guy from Star Wars and all that, he thought of a thing called show scan, where he made it at 60 frames a second. And you could go see at the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas a show at 60 frames a second, and it really felt like you were watching a play. It was like reality. Okay? No one gave a shit. No one cared. It failed. They did IMAXs at 60 frames a second like that in the show scan format, and it made you want to throw up all over yourself because it was too real. And it was, gave you kind of a bit of emotion sickness. Now, the early reviews of the HFR is people do not like it on The Hobbit because it looks like, it looks kind of like a video game. Everything is too vivid and too bright and too realistic, like they're looking at it. Too realistic and yet not realistic enough, Like too true to what is in front of the camera and too crisply realized, which then belies the made-upness of what's there. To me, film is romantic, I like impressionist paintings. I don't need all of those pixels and all of those frames. I think you can make a more beautiful image with a little less. That is why I saw The Hobbit in glorious 2 dimensions, no glasses required, in glorious 24 frames per second. But different strokes for different folks. You got 2D, you got the 3D, you got the HFR, which is also 3D, you got the IMAX, and you got the IMAX 3D. If they had the IMAX HFR 3D, that would be like bananas on bananas. That would be like you are a hobbit yourself, and no one else need apply. You're going to go see The Hobbit anyway. You will have a good time. It is full of crazy, incredibly implausible stunts. And these dwarves, they can fall hundreds and hundreds of feet down caves and rocks and rubble and sticks and broken bodies, and they are fine. You cannot crush these guys. It seems like there's a lot at stake. There's a lot of swordplay, a lot of action, a lot of fighting and everything. A lot of monsters, a lot of scary creatures. But it all kind of works out. They kind of bounce along and they kind of okay, which makes it feel a little bit less threatening than it might if they actually seem to get hurt ever. I am rambling. I should write these out before I do these these reviews. But anyway, I hope I've explained the frame rate thing for you. You know, they're going to win on this because people, the hardcore nerds, are going to see it in the normal film way, and they're also going to see the HFR way, and they might see the IMAX way as well, just to kind of see the difference. I mean, I did that for the Avatar as well. I saw it normal, and then I saw it in IMAX as well, and it, you know, it was a slightly different experience, but that was a great movie. I think this is a good movie. Avatar was a great kind of profound movie, I thought, but The Hobbit, you know, lovely, wonderful, but, you know, not particularly profound. That is my 2 cents, ladies and gentlemen. Go see it. Enjoy your Christmas. Maybe see something else for a change. Yeah? Okay. Hey, by the way, if you think this is a good idea for me to do movie reviews and to talk to you like this and give you my learned opinions about things, leave me a comment, you know. Share this with your friends. Post it on your Facebook, you know, something like that. And send me a note because I love to hear from you. And by the way, please subscribe. The button used to be up there, but they moved it down there now. Unless you're watching it on my channel, in which case it's still up there. I'll tell you what, I put it right here. Click that and you can subscribe right now just like that. Go ahead, click it anytime.